We watched Alex Len before. Some people may have seen the videos. I think his video is one of my most popular react videos, which is funny because I'm pretty sure it is. Hold on, let me see. I think it's on this, right? Yeah, his video on Superman is my most popular. It's 2.3k views on it. Every video that I have with Alex, like reacting to his video, has been a hit. Anyways, was Ultimate Spider-Man really that great? Alex Lennon, as everyone, I might post this to YouTube, so if you want to go check out his channel, make sure you do. He is growing, he is awesome. Love his comics, explanations, and everything. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna watch his newest video. Was Ultimate Spider-Man really that great? Let's go find out. Let's go find out if Ultimate Spider-Man was really that great. I don't know why I had fucking Future in my background. I'm pretty sure that's going to get demonetized, but I don't give a fuck. Anyways, lovely men and lovely boys. Link, everything will be down below. If you want to go check out Alex Lennon, his video link will be down below, and his channel will be down below in the description. So if you want to go check that out, make sure to do so and subscribe and like his video. I'm just a simple reactor, and please keep allowing me to react to your videos, Alex. Anyways,
for almost 2 decades, Spider-Man comic fans had it rough. Year after year, they were consistently rage-baited by Marvel, who kept making all of these frustrating changes to the main series. They started off by erasing Peter's marriage with MJ from existence, by making a deal with the devil, and from that point on, Marvel did everything they could to keep regressing his development, to keep destroying his relationships. To a lot of fans, it was like
bro, I'm so excited for the new Spider-Man movie. Though I have actually no clue who the fuck those new villains are, because they were like red ninja things. I have never seen them. I don't think I've ever seen them. I only have very like top shelf comic knowledge. I'm not like too deep, and that's why I watch these videos, to help me learn about more lore and stuff. But yeah,
Marvel would never listen. They just didn't care. Or at least that was until Ultimate Spider-Man 2024. This was a brand new alternative take on the character. It featured a grown-up Peter Parker who was married, who wasn't completely miserable every second of his existence. It was like all of our prayers had been answered. Now this series wasn't just a breath of fresh air. It wasn't a temporary moment of relief.
Bro, Spider-Man with the beard is kinda... Damn, they made Spider-Man sexy. Yeah, fucking daddy. What the heck?
First issue sold out 3 times. It got 6 reprintings. Essentially,
that's I can't remember
replacing the main series in terms of sales and relevancy. Finally, Marvel was shown this undeniable evidence that this is what people wanted, and I was one of those people saying, look guys, we don't have to suffer anymore. This series is a miracle. However, as Ultimate progressed month by month, issue by issue, I saw people gradually...
Have to agree with you there. Bro, I swear, if I could grow a beard, bro, oh my god, bro, I would deadass be Prime Markiplier.
Turn on it. They started to think that maybe this comic I previously championed as the answer to all of our problems, maybe it wasn't so miraculous. Word on the street was that this version of Spider-Man was actually a fraud. He didn't do anything in the series. The marriage was just there for decoration. It was just there to bait us in. And that actually, I had lied to everyone. How could you lie to us, man on the screen? And to that I say...
Deodorant leaving a bad impression.
Me. I just wish I could fucking... Please, ads, don't go. Oh my god, you cringe ass ads. What the fuck is Goku doing on my screen?
Okay, you can't blame me for being hopeful, especially after that first issue. Everyone can agree that shit was like crack. It's still a classic. Peter Parker has had his destiny stolen from him. The radioactive spider has been plucked from the timeline by forces he does not yet understand. And so he goes on to live his life powerless, just like the rest of us. Now 35 years old, Peter is working at the Daily Bugle. He's making a decent living, he's married to the love of his life, Mary Jane, he's got 2 great kids, Richard and May. But there's something bothering Peter. And it's not that his Aunt May is just being killed in a terrorist attack. That's been known to happen.
What? In a what attack? Huh? Bro, that's more than a terrorist attack, bro. That's like a world-ending attack. The fuck is that?
No, what's really bothering him is this unstable sense of self, right? He can't escape the feeling that despite all of this good stuff, something is missing. Throughout the issue, we see that he's been drifting through his life, unsatisfied. He desperately needs a change, and so does the city for that matter. This corruption, this poison left untouched, has spread all across...
Oh, I'm good. I'm back. Alright, hold on. Mic check. Everything's good. Alright, we're good. Alright. Sorry, boys. YouTube, I'm sick, so I was coughing. I didn't want to, Anyways.
New York. It's a city without heroes, without someone to stand up for it, and it keeps getting worse day by day. Fortunately, change arrives in the form of a time-travelling Tony Stark, who makes a desperate attempt to correct the timeline. He sends Peter the radioactive spider, along with a message explaining his lost history. It's a hell of a sales pitch, saying how Peter was meant to inspire people to live his best life, although Peter's not entirely convinced. He's been wanting a change, but this is not what he was expecting. This is a big leap. This will blow up all stability in his life. This will put a lot of things at risk. It's only when he sits down with MJ, his life partner, this person who understands him like no other, that he's finally able to make a decision. She gives him the confidence he needs, the assurance that she'll be behind him 100%, that nothing will change between them. And with this, Peter takes hold of his destiny. It's here we get that triumphant final scene, that shot of adrenaline that single-handedly revived the Spider-Man community for a good while. Peter stands alone on the roof while Tony's speech echoes through his head, this call to arms that says, "You were supposed to have a different life, Peter Parker, and yet all of that was taken from you."
Why does Tony Stark look so much younger than fucking... I'm obviously it's the time travel shit, but like, how much younger is Tony Stark in this?
These people stole your future, robbed you of your destiny. The question is, do you want it back? We watch as the spider crawls onto his hand. Peter's face lights up. A new man walks out into the light, and New York's heart starts beating for the first time in decades. Holy shit. This goes so hard, and that's partly because it is just a really good issue.
Wait, hold on, that
decades.
is actually kind of tough.
Holy shit.
Nah, that's kind of tough. That is kind of fucking aura, bro. Damn.
This goes so hard, and that's partly because it is just a really good issue, like, technically. The build-up and payoff is structured so well, it's hard not to get hyped at the end. I mean, it's Jonathan Hickman we're talking about here. But it's also insanely therapeutic for those who have been rage-baited by Marvel for the longest time. Oh, Peter's life's been stagnant for decades. There's something unsatisfying. Someone stole his future. I wonder what that could possibly be hinting at. And so to see Peter, albeit an alternate version, fight back. Be like, yeah, fuck this. I am gonna take my future back from Mephisto. I mean the Maker. It's so satisfying. It's like, oh my god, finally. After that first issue, fans couldn't wait to see what Peter did next.
Is that purposely like a black suit rather than his classic red blue? Like, or is it just like because they had to? Is he Venom? Like, why is he wearing a black and white suit?
And it started off pretty well, you know? Issue 2 continues the momentum. We get to see Peter adjusting to his new powers, his new suit that Tony left him. He's
Oh, Tony left it. Never mind.
figuring out what kind of hero he's gonna be.
Wait, but why would Tony leave him up? Brothers and sisters, what do we do? Wait, why?
While trying to keep it a secret until he can figure out a way to tell his family. You get this nice little moment where May walks in on Peter wearing the costume, but she promises to keep it a secret and then helps him to come up with the classic Spider-Man design. It's cute. Even at this point though, this early into the series, I remember seeing a few complaints. I mean, Spider-Man fans are never happy, it's in our DNA, but I do remember seeing a few genuine concerns.
Wait, so he went from... Okay, but black is kind of aura. But like, I was just wondering why he was black. So it wasn't Venom, it was just that. Okay. Why? Wait, but... Okay. That's a time-traveling Tony, and he knows the classic suit is red and blue. You know what? Whatever.
Mainly to do with this Peter lacking a lot of the traits or elements that make up your traditional Peter Parker. He doesn't make the suit or his web shooters, he doesn't have money problems, he's not really looked down on in a social setting, right? He's not made to feel like an outsider in his workplace or anything. He's got a good job, which we later find out he got through nepotism, so it's not like he even earned that shit. Then, when the Kingpin takes over the Bugle, Peter acknowledges that it won't affect him. He'll still get to keep his job, and even if he didn't, MJ's raking it in anyways, so as a family...
MJ's rich! Yo, look at mommy MJ. God damn, look at the jewelry on her. She's got 3 fucking gold fucking, what do we call these? Bracelets on each fucking hand. Big ass hoops. She's in like, fucking Dior. I don't even know. God damn.
He will never be on their radar.
Also, talk about a fucking good looking couple. Both of them in this comic series. Goddamn, bearded fucking Peter Parker. Like, what the hell?
Also doesn't seem to give that much of a shit about Aunt May dying either. Like, I appreciate subtlety. I'm not expecting him to look directly at the reader and say, I'm really sad about my beloved aunt being fucking atomized by an aerial strike. But like, give us something. Even when Tony Stark shows up, the man who was publicly blamed for said aerial strike, Peter's just like, oh hey, how's it going? Peter is very comfortable. He does have it relatively easy, and so I get that criticism, or observation rather. But that's kind of the point. Unlike the classic version of
Peter in that comic series looks like a Chris. Kind of has like a Chris Pratt or a Chris Hemsworth or a Chris Evans kind of vibe to him right now.
The character, whose life is turned upside down without warning, this Peter has the option of staying put.
Like, I swear to God, he looks like a Chris.
Sticking with a normal, easy life. The bad things aren't affecting him. Remember, we as an audience know that Aunt May was killed by the same guys who Kingpin works for, and that they're responsible for everything evil in the world,
yeah.
and so in fact
Like,
Peter does have a personal stake in this. But Peter doesn't know that. From his point of view, he hasn't and probably still...
Does she grow up to be like Spider-Woman? That's gotta be like a spin-off or something, right?
won't be affected by this corruption. There's no desire for revenge or fame or anything we usually get. This here is a choice where he already knows what he's risking and the fact that he doesn't have to do it. That's kind of more powerful, right? It's such a cool new twist on power and responsibility. Usually Peter starts off with power being thrust upon him at a young age, he experiences the consequences of taking that power to the extreme, and then he learns responsibility later. Here it's the complete opposite. For this version, it was the responsibility that was thrust upon him at a young age, right from the moment MJ became pregnant all those years ago. And so he took a safe job, one that wasn't personally fulfilling, but...
So they was fucking fast and early. God damn, Peter. Fucking Playboy Peter. Alright. Good shit, Peter. Well, actually, maybe not good shit, but like, good shit being responsible.
It put bread on the table. He didn't have the luxury of earning his place in the world or chasing his passions,
Hemsworth,
right? These
yeah.
are the consequences of extreme responsibility.
He looks like
his
one of the
lesson,
fucking
then, is to
Chris's.
do with power. He has to learn his own capabilities. He already knows the difference between right and wrong, what actually matters in the world. But can he actually fight for it? Peak!
Chicken Al Pastor.
Bro, I don't want chicken al pastor, you son of a bitch. Get the fuck off my screen. You know what I've been craving, actually? I kind of want to go to Panda Express and get that, like, they have, like, a new orange chicken thing, or chicken sauce. It's, like, the Bulldog, or the Bulldog, brand. And it's, oh, bro, I kind of want to try it.
Peter's out superheroing, trying to learn his power when, who the hell's
Never been? How the fuck?
that? This green
How
guy
the
on a
fooky? That's not a Green Goblin.
glider throwing bombs at people, and he's some kind of predator, apparently. Shit, it really is the Ultimate Universe. The Green Goblin, aka Harry Osborn, is one of our main supporting characters, and his introduction is so good. The first glimpse we get of him is at the funeral for the victims of the terrorist attack, since the list of the dead includes his parents, Norman and Emily Osborn. While everyone's preaching peace and looking on the bright side, Harry delivers this really cold monologue, basically saying, fuck that. These people killed their loved ones, I'm not standing for this. Almost immediately you're thinking, okay, Norman's dead. We know that Harry's gonna be the Goblin then. And so the series wastes no time getting him into gear. Only a couple pages later, Harry makes an attempt on the Kingpin's life. And it's such a good scene because there's no dialogue, right? We're not told that this is Harry. But in that moment, we just know it's him. We instantly get why he's doing it. And it's like The Mandalorian, where you can't see his face, but you can just feel how fucking pissed off he is. Harry is a man of action. While Peter's dicking around trying to figure stuff out, Harry is chasing down Kingpin's men, using these lethal methods. When he crosses paths with Peter, he's like, oh, you're using Stark technology. I know Stark technology. Right, I'm gonna get rid of your mask. Oh, what's your name? Peter? I'm Harry. This is my face. This is my hand. Fucking shake it. How about we just team up and stop the Kingpin together? Harry is like Peter in a lot of...
Green Goblin x Spider-Man. Ugh, could you imagine that? So they were so they didn't know each other before this. Wait, but like in another universe they were friends. How did they become friends in the... Weren't they like schoolmates? And then in this verse they weren't even schoolmates. So they just didn't even know each other. But like Peter had to have known about him because his father and mother are like powerful figures, right? Surely. I don't even know. Fuck it.
ways. They're both married men in their
How the
30s
fuck
with strong
did they not know
principles and a
each other?
desire to do good. They're both taking advantage of this gift they've been given, this stark technology they've inherited, to try and improve the world, to protect others from those who seek to do harm. But
Bro, Green Goblin, if he was a good guy, kinda has aura. Like, he kinda has aura.
Harry's a lot further down the superhero path, and he rolls his eyes at some of the shit that Peter says. Peter's got good intentions, he wants to help people, but his outlets to do so are limited. He can only crack down on petty theft and small stuff like that. He's a bit naive too, he's almost too principled. He's saying, oh, we should call the police. Oh, Harry, what we're doing is illegal. He's also not too keen about this whole mission Harry's talking about, them trying to dismantle the whole system. He's like, I don't really want to take that on, I'd much rather keep it simple, just stopping these bank robbers, like that's what I'm good at. Harry, on the other hand, is more privileged, he's got more connections, and so he has seen the strings. He knows all about the secret history of the world, how the evil maker changed things and set up a council to rule from the shadows. Harry knows that if they want to beat that, just being good guys isn't enough. They've got to dream bigger, be more committed. It's because of these different priorities that Harry can be a lot more effective. When Peter meets the Shocker, his goal is to stop Shocker from robbing the bank, because robbing banks is bad. He also feels sorry for Shocker, and that lets him be taken advantage of. When Harry's in the same situation, he doesn't care about the robbery or about Shocker's feelings. He'll let him keep the money, so long as Shocker gives up information vital to Harry's mission. Harry's not afraid to get his hands dirty, to kill if need be, and while it's not exactly gonna get him into heaven, he is making progress. But Harry's got his own weakness. He's got a great handle on politics, but not on people. He's so wrapped up in his own ideology, trying to save the whole fucking planet, that he fails to consider how your average person might feel about all this. Harry has an accessibility problem, and this is one of the reasons he needs Peter. He needs the family man who isn't a massive dickhead, you know, this warmer touch on things. It's like Tony's dad said in Ultimate Invasion, this letter he left him that sparked this whole thing in the first place. His whole point was that, yeah, the world is no place for the innocent, for the pure of heart. But in order to change things, you kinda need this innocence, these unjaded eyes to see the world for what it could be. Bitterness can be useful, it's a good motivator, but that won't build a brighter future. You also need connection, you need love and trust and all of these things that make the fight
We need that in the world right now, I'm not even gonna lie to you. With no cap, we need that in the world right now. For people to see the world in a nicer, better place. You know what I mean? Have kinder eyes to the world. You don't have to give up everything, but
bearable. All of these things that Harry, for all his money and connections, was never really able to be in touch with. So it's clear that Peter and Harry need each other. And to start off with, their friendship is really solid. They enjoy each other's company, they understand each other, they've got each other's backs in fights. The series plays on your expectation that the two of them are going to fall out at some point and that Harry's going to turn evil somehow, but it never quite happens. Harry straight up paralyzes a guy, and Peter's like, Harry, that wasn't cool. You can't just do that.
okay, but like, what did the guy do? Was he a villain? Like, here's the thing, like, I kind of like villains that push the limit, bro. Like, look, as long as it's in like the, you know, fictional space, like heroes that push the fucking limit and what's morally correct and wrong. I love those heroes, like those anti-heroes, bro. Oh my god, like. Even, what's it called? Dr. Doom has that kind of like mindset where he wants the good for the world, but he's gonna do it in his own way and push his limits. And like, obviously, you don't want a fucking guy like that in your world, but like, mother of God, like, I love those stories. Like, is what he's doing completely and horribly wrong? A little bit, but like, does he have the kind of mindset that like could be good? Yeah. But it's just like, fuck. He's doing it in the wrong way. I love those heroes. Oh my god. Oh,
or something. I actually feel sorry for Harry because he's so desperately trying to be the main character of the comic, but he doesn't realise that he's stuck in a supporting role. Like, he's doing all the work. He sorts out their secret superhero headquarters at Oscorp. He gets one of the top scientists in the world, Otto Octavius, to upgrade their suits.
Otto's a good guy in this? So...
He's actually having to train himself because he doesn't have superpowers. He didn't have his destiny handed to him on a platter, and yet Peter still manages to outshine him with little effort. The best example's probably when Tony shows back up to check on Peter, to see how he's doing with his powers, and Harry's like, what about me? I'm a hero. I'm a threat to evil. You want to know about me? And Tony's like, who are you again? See, it's moments like these
bro, shouldn't Tony know? Like, bro, Green Goblin was like a threat. And then also, like, fucking Dr. It's like, motherfucker, that guy was also a threat. These two are like actual like top level threats in New York, at least.
Where you're like, okay, this is the start of Harry's downfall. I mean, this is their whole dynamic, traditionally. It's jealousy getting in the way of their friendship. But still, Harry stays focused. He takes all of this shit and refuses to break. And that's kind of refreshing. One thing that is so important to both the classic series and the original Ultimate Spider-Man is that they both make it very clear that Peter is at his best when he brings others into his life. Trying to change the world all by yourself is noble, yes, and lying to your loved ones to protect them is understandable, sure, but it's also kind of dumb. It's not that effective. The best periods of Peter's life is when his Aunt May does know who he is, when he's got a consistent, reliable group of friends who he can trust with this stuff, and this makes him a way better superhero and an all-round well-adjusted person. However, in those series, it takes Peter years and years worth of comics to get to this point. This series doesn't have hundreds of issues to work with, and so it speedruns this process. Issue 2 makes it obvious that Peter sucks fat fucking balls operating by himself, he's picked up by Harry in issue 3, and comes clean to his family by issue 6. He learns very quickly that he doesn't have to be this lone wolf, that loving someone means sharing the burden with them, and that his family's not going to freak out and abandon him if he tells the truth. Now that he's more open with MJ and the
He has a son? I thought he only had a fucking daughter. You're telling me he has a son?
kids, he can be
Also, why is his son... Why are both of his kids ginger? Is the ginger gene? I mean, I guess it's a comic. But what the fuck? Like, he has brown hair. Like, the daughter could have been ginger. The son could have been, like, brown-haired. I know MJ's, like... MJ's not even ginger. She has red hair. Like, what the fuck?
a better father, a better husband. He's not having to sneak around all
Like, look! She doesn't even have fucking red hair. I mean, red and brown, they probably make into fucking orange. I get it, but, like, what the fuck?
the time, so that when he does try and jump the Kingpin with Harry and gets his ass beat, he can show up back home without worrying about an excuse. And speaking of family, there's another member of the Parkers that I haven't quite met.
Holy mommy Dobby, what the fuck? Kill me. What the fuck? Me too, Peter. I'd be looking up at her like that too. What the hell?
Mentioned yet. Now I actually got this reveal spoiled for me since Marvel couldn't wait a fucking
Yo, slay me in half.
day before posting it on their socials. Ooh, spoiler alert, Uncle Ben's alive! You know that
Uncle Ben's alive? So Aunt May got fucking rest in peace and hell yeah.
moment in issue 1 where Peter walks into the Daily
Hell
Bugle
fucking yeah.
and Jonah's shouting for Parker, and the whole reveal is that he's not actually shouting for Peter, nor is he actually angry. He's just calling on his old pal Benjamin, who's gone deaf in his old age. What a nice surprise. Oh wait, no it wasn't, because I saw it on fucking Instagram like 2 hours after the issue came out. Thanks, Marvel. Now, Uncle Ben isn't your average Uncle Ben, in that he doesn't do the two things Uncle Ben is supposed to do. One,
Die.
he doesn't get
die.
turned into Swiss cheese by a gunman. And 2, he doesn't teach Peter that with great power comes great responsibility.
What?
And you know what? Good. We've seen Uncle Ben kick
What?
the bucket countless times. We've seen it in
So
comics,
Aunt May
movies,
did
TV
it, or
shows,
what?
games. He's been shot in the chest, in the head. He's been eaten alive. Enough already. Let Aunt May have a go at being dead. And this Uncle Ben, while alive, still manages to be one of the influences on Peter's choice to be a hero. Yes, Peter is inspired by Tony and MJ, but it's Ben who really sets the example for him. When Kingpin takes over, it's Ben who quits the Bugle and starts his own paper with Jonah. He's the one who makes that leap first. He starts the fight against the Kingpin, inspiring Peter to do the same. See, Kingpin's empire relies on multiple different things, right? There are multiple pillars of his regime. There's the physical side that Peter...
Ew. Oh, fuck no. Get me the fuck out. What is that thing? That is the grossest thing I've ever seen in my life. Oh my fucking god.
Harry are dealing with, actual physical power that's used to keep people in line, to squash resistance, but there's also the information side, the news. In this world, everything is decided by the Makers Council. They decide who's in charge of each country, they plan out what wars are going to happen in advance, so that everyone will be too busy focusing on foreign threats to notice their own problems at home. And a big part of how they're able to do that is this control over the news, this coordinated network that helps maintain this, illusion of democracy. The Bugle was one of the last organisations standing, but after the Kingpin took over and forced the paper to change direction, he effectively buried the truth. The only people standing in his way are these two old guys who don't give a fuck anymore and are willing to work out of a complete dump if it means freedom. This is where we get some of my favourite stuff in the series, and a lot of it isn't the actual investigations. Like them tracking down Kingpin, finding his associates, trying to expose the Maker system, that's all well and good. But what really does it for me are the little personal moments between the two of them. Them talking about coffee, or making bets with each other, or harassing tossing some poor guy at a bakery. My favourite's gotta be when they go to Richard and May's birthday party, and Jonah brings a gift for Richard. It's a very, Jonah gift, shall we say? But it's a genuine attempt at kindness. He has a real heart-to-heart with him. He talks about how he used to be lonely when he was a teenager too, that he was into books, and wanted to get his own book published, but no one would take him on, so he ended up publishing it himself. He actually lost money on it, but he didn't care, because it was
Oh shit. So Mr. fucking Jameson is actually chill in this? So all the fucking like bad guys to Spider-Man is actually chill in this series? Yo, like this is the perfect fucking Peter Parker verse ever. Like what the fuck? Your girlfriend's not dead, your aunt's dead though. But like I mean, at least you have your uncle too. I mean, it's not like both the aunt and uncle died, so fuck it. We take what we can get. Look, if I can have my fucking MJ, 2 kids, a fucking best friend that doesn't turn evil on me, and fucking a fucking boss that doesn't want to kill me or my persona of me. Like, this is the best fucking universe Peter Parker could ever ask for. And he's sexy, and he has a bad... Like, what the fuck?
stuff like this that makes up the heart
Like, look at her. If I was in this universe, I would...
of the series. Spider-Man is nothing without his supporting
God.
cast. The everyday human side of things that doesn't further the main plot. It might seem trivial in the grand scheme of things, but it ends up being more impactful than the actual superhero punching people stuff. One of my favourite issues is the Parker Family Christmas in issue 12, where they just hang out and deal with some pretty low-stakes family drama. Jonah's working up the courage to ask out MJ's aunt, May's wanting to play games on her mum's...
What? Is that her mother? Who is that? Cause both of them are fine as hell. What the fuck?
family drama. Jonah's working up the courage to ask out MJ's aunt.
You know he's supposed to, like, in other comics he gets with fucking Peter Parker's fucking aunt.
May's wanting to play games on her mum's phone. It's a heartwarming time that reminds us what it is our characters are fighting for.
Native deodorant.
Mother of God, I'm going to fucking... Alright, come on man. Get me out of here.
And then... turns out that this here isn't Peter. No, the Stark suit actually has a mind of its own and has been pretending to be Peter around his family. Richard then takes the suit and becomes Venom. Harry and Peter are kidnapped by Craven. And then, turns out that this here isn't Peter.
What?
No, the Stark suit actually has a mind of its own and has been pretending to be Peter around his family. Richard then takes the suit and becomes Venom. Harry and Peter are kidnapped by Craven the Hunter, who chases them down in the Savage Land. Craven shoots Peter, kills Harry. What the fuck is happening? It's at this point I notice
I spoke too fucking soon. Are you dead ass? So my best friend's dead. My aunt's dead. My suit tried to pretend to be me and... My son became Venom. I don't even... fucking bullshit, man. I can't just have a normal fucking life.
a lot more concerned voices in the monthly discussion threads. I think the crack was starting to wear off and people were thinking, maybe this isn't the masterpiece we were hoping for. Maybe it actually has flaws. One of those in particular being the pacing. You see, this new batch of Ultimate titles was different from most of Marvel's comics, in that they actually progressed in real time. Issue 1 came out in January 2024, and the actual issue takes place in January 2024. Issue 2 comes out in February, so the story skips forward a month, and then with March we have another skip, and so on. This was really cool to start with. Modern Spider-Man comics have had the main continuity stuck in place for the past couple decades. It's like The Simpsons, where everyone's cursed to be the same age, you know, Peter's forever in his mid to late 20s, and we never seem to go anywhere in terms of the status quo. So, having the complete opposite of that was a really nice change of pace. This story could actually move forward and cut out a lot of the fat that we'd seen before. Of course, jumping forward a month, every issue does run the risk of the story feeling a little bit rushed, of us missing out on certain things. You can see Hickman trying to cheat a little bit. If he wants to spend a bit more time on a certain plot point, he'll have one issue take place on the last day of the month, and then we skip forward to the next month one day later. So he's technically sticking to his own gimmick. Like I said, it starts off well, but after a whole year of constantly jumping around, it's like, do we even know these people yet? Okay, so Richard wears the Stark suit to fill in for his dad while he's off being hunted by Kraven. That's cool. Did that
So the Stark suit is a Venom suit. How a Venom, bro? Stark suit is just a Venom suit. How, bro? This isn't even a Stark suit. Isn't Venom its own like thing? Stark made a Venom suit? Like what?
have to happen off screen? Could we at least have seen him putting on the suit for the first time, or at least built up to it in some way? Hickman isn't exactly a writer who holds your hand for a lot of things. You're supposed to be able to fill in the gaps yourself, and that's just his style. He's the closest we've got to the Christopher Nolan of comic books, where he's more focused on ideas, like these high concepts and themes, rather than characters. That's why he works so well with stuff like Avengers and all of this cosmic
Thor's. What the fuck?
Rather than characters. That's why he works so well with stuff like Avengers.
Why are there so many Thors in this? Holy mother of God, there's so many oh, fuck.
And all of this cosmic, large-scale, Secret Wars type stuff. You'll go into one of his books expecting a story about S.H.I.E.L.D., like the spy organization, but it'll actually be a story about a time-travelling Leonardo da Vinci who's trying to fight an immortal Isaac Newton, who's also the Sorcerer Supreme and has managed to discover this crazy kind of math that turns Celestials mad, and he kills Galileo, and Reed Richards' dad kills Nikola Tesla. It's these very dense plots that don't give you explanations for things, or even if you do get an explanation, it actually makes it more confusing, and that's not a bug, it's a feature. It's supposed to be challenging. Also, Hickman's definitely toned down his style with the series. He is including all of these little character moments when he can, so not only is this whole thing to be expected, it's also not as bad as it could be. That doesn't mean it doesn't piss me off though. I'm seeing Richard swinging around in the suit or starting a romance with the teenage black cat, and I'm like,
okay, Richard, go get you some. Oh my lord, Jesus.
Yep, there he goes. That's Richard alright. Sure wish I cared about him.
Wait till she sees her ginger though. Oof.
This goes for quite a few characters. May, Peter's daughter, has an average of 5 lines per issue. I actually counted that for some reason, and a lot of them are either just dad or bye dad. It's really weird because Hickman is taking his time, right? On a technical level, the pacing, the way each scene flows into the next, the actual structure of events is pretty much perfect, and we are given all the reasons to care about these people. We can fill in the gaps ourselves. But when you're on a first time read, these time skips leave you with the feeling of being ever so slightly out of the loop, like you're just a tiny bit behind all the characters, which leads to this emotional disconnect. You just end up being like, sure, I guess? Now, this wouldn't have been that big of a problem had it not been for one thing. That fucking announcement we got from Marvel in the middle of the series. Marvel announced that Ultimate Spider-Man would be ending with issue 24, and that was it. Hickman was done. Hickman himself said that this was always the plan. It was all in his initial pitch, so it's not like Marvel came by his desk one day and was like, yeah, wrap it up, son, you've got like 6 issues left. No, this was his vision, and I respect that. But then Marvel followed up by saying not just the series was ending, but that the entire Ultimate line was ending, just 2 years after it started. That whole universe gone. And this puts such a damper on people's experience going forward. I knew Hickman wasn't going to stay on the job forever, but the assumption was that someone would take over. Apparently, Hickman himself thought so too. And so I thought that all of this poking around in the beginning, all of this slow stuff, it was setting up this really strong foundation for the next writer or the next volume or something. If Peter or his family barely showed up in an issue and it was all about Harry instead, that was fine. Like, yeah, take all the time you need. I'm here for the long run. But now with this announcement,
Chat, how you gonna riz up fine shit? Oh my lord. Okay, my issue is like, why do we have Black Cat and then fucking, bro? She literally looks like Catwoman in fucking DC. Like, what the fuck? But oh my lord, Jesus fucking Christ, please. Oh my fucking God, Jesus. Wow. Yo, Richard getting that? Brother, give me that.
Every page was precious. It's like people's patience was cut in half. The clock was ticking with each issue, and people were getting worried. Was Hickman actually going to pull this off in time? Everyone was like, please, can we see Peter next issue? Can you give him something to do? We've not got long left. And Hickman's like, nah, I'm spending an issue.
Okay, so it's Hickman who's drawing and shit? Whoever's drawing these fucking panels and stuff, brother, they draw the woman gorgeous. MJ and the fucking Black Cat are holy.
On Mr. Negative's childhood, fuck you. Another reason people started to feel let down was the fact that this book was marketed with a focus on the marriage. That was the selling point. You've been waiting years and years to see Peter and MJ married again, so here you go. This is what you wanted, right? This is your number one source of Peter and MJ relationship goodness. And then MJ Loki doesn't do anything. She is there to support Peter, but she rarely gets enough time to shine by herself. Her character isn't explored nearly as much as Harry or Ben, say. The relationship feels kinda shallow because the series has other priorities. This isn't the main focus, which may lead you to believe that this MJ has more of a symbolic role. She's there to signal to fans that this series is the good one because they're together, and that's it. Now, attempting to define what an adaptation of MJ should look like is kind of an impossible task. Throughout the years, she's been a model, an actress, a journalist, a nightclub owner. She's been Peter's childhood best friend, she's been someone he meets in college. You could say at the very least that she needs to have red hair and be called Mary Jane, but that's not even true given that Michelle Jones is arguably one of the most faithful on-screen adaptations of the character in terms of capturing the spirit of the original comics for the modern day, and that's true. Argue with the
Zendaya baddie, man. God. Yo, Tom Holland, you lucky motherfucker. God damn it. Could you imagine having a celebrity crush and then marrying your celebrity You motherfucker. I want you to know how lucky you are. You son of a bitch.
wall, mate. Broadly speaking though, there are certain traits that MJ should probably have, no matter the setting. She has to have some semblance of a personality, right?
Yo. Was MJ always this fucking fine? God dang the mother of God, bro.
She can't be boring. And while we don't get to experience much of this MJ, she does technically pass the personality check. She's fairly spirited, she jokes around. What the hell, sure. MJ also needs to be independent. She can be single, married, she can be whatever the fuck this is.
What the hell is that panel? Oh hell
MJ
no.
also needs to be independent. She can be single,
Mommy Dommy hit me with the fucking pan. I don't know.
married, she can be whatever the
But what the fuck is that thing? What the fuck? Wait, so the pig, we've seen the pig in Spider-Verse. So pig Spider-Man gets with a Mary Jane that's a duck? What the fuck?
this is, but she has to have the confidence to make her own mind up at all times, to go against the current. And again, this MJ technically does that. Whenever she shows up, it's kind of the same dynamic as the classic comics, where it seems like everyone else is running around like headless chickens, and here she is, all self-assured, just doing her own thing effortlessly.
Yo, they like style her perfectly. My God. Hold on. Sisters, mothers, and fathers. Alright, mic check in 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Alright. Back to the fucking video. MJ, holy mother of God.
And it's this level-headedness, this forward-thinking that inspires others to get on with their own problems. Lastly, MJ has to naturally match Peter's energy. They have to be in tune with each other. Like there's a joke that only they're in on. This is one of the highlights of the series, in fact. There are basically no problems between the two. No pointless shouting matches or anything like that, because they're already so aligned with each other. They both just get it. This was actually a complaint I remember seeing midway through the series, that MJ's almost too accepting of Peter. Peter's like, hey, the Kingpin knows our names and where we live and we're gonna need to go on the run, otherwise we're all gonna fucking die. And MJ's like, hooray, vacation! As the comic progresses though, this turns out
Bro, she's ignoring all the red flags for. I mean, I would ignore all the red flags for that, Peter. My God, look at him. He's so fucking beauty. I hate men with beard because they make me so jealous.
To be intentional. See, in the original comics, MJ's carefree party girl persona was a mask that she developed as a result of her terrible home life. It was only after the death of Gwen that the full extent of her personality was revealed, strengthening her connection with Peter. And Hickman goes for the same kind of thing. This MJ is in her late 30s and has kids, and so instead of the party girl who's downing shots at 4 in the morning, she instead becomes the stereotypical perfect partner. Someone who never complains, who remains enthusiastic and supportive and forgiving no matter what her husband drags through their door. It seems a bit ridiculous at first, but as we soon see, this is a conscious effort on her part. Behind this mask, MJ is actually terrified. She's been remaining calm for the sake of her family, but there's only so much she can take. And, just like the original comics, it's this moment where she finally gets to sit down and take her mask off that changes everything. Her and Peter finally have a moment to breathe, to talk it all through, and this ends up strengthening their relationship. Except we don't get to see much of that conversation because the time skip happens right before they actually get into it. So overall, pretty decent adaptation. The substance is there, there's just not a lot of it. She's better than Raimi MJ, I guess. I actually really like that character. She just doesn't feel like MJ personality-wise. She's more like Gwen in terms of her role in that story. Oh, and speaking of Gwen, this is something I didn't end up getting spoiled by Marvel. Gwen Stacy's in the series, and when I say I did...
Okay, hot take. I think Gwen's a little bit better for Peter, but you know what? It's fine. It's fine. You know, I'm not gonna. No, we're not gonna say nothing. I think Gwen's amazing, but you know, it's whatever. I mean, if you take Gwen Stacy from the Spider-Verse versus what we have in Tom Holland's Zendaya MJ, I don't think I couldn't pick. I'm not gonna lie. That one I literally could not pick. You could not. Like, I would be, if I was having to pick between those, like Gwen from Spider-Verse and MJ from fucking Tom Holland's verse, I'm going to like end my fucking life before I pick that one. I'm saying, Green Goblin, you can kill me. I'm not fucking picking. Fuck that shit.
Didn't get spoiled by Marvel. That's because Mullet Man Comics had already messaged me and beat them to the punch. Thanks, buddy. So the big twist here is that Gwen is not the dead girlfriend of Peter Parker, but instead the very much alive CEO of Oscorp Industries and wife of Harry Osborn. She also turns out to be Mysterio, so I was able to get Mullet back with that one. Now you might think this is a bit of a random pairing, but they actually have a lot in common in this universe. For starters, they're both trying to live up to their dead fathers. Harry...
Wow. Whoever drew this comic series really draws their women beautiful. My God, Gwen.
Of course, is haunted by Norman's disappointment in him. The fact that the last memory they shared together was Norman basically shit-talking him. "You'll never be a man, Harry. You're no son of mine. Wait, what the fuck is that?" Ah! And so when Harry gets to choose the AI interface for his suit, he chooses his dad in the hopes that it'll solve his identity issues. Gwen shares the feeling, although her story's a little different. After her father, George Stacy, dies, she accepts his final wish by continuing his legacy as a member of Mysterio, a group of weirdos in a basement who believe that the entire world is a lie, an illusion created by one man. And yeah, that's pretty spot on.
So
it's only by becoming...
That's the turnoff. Girl, why are you in a basement? Yeah, when a girl starts doing devil and dark magic like this, yeah, that's the turnoff. That's where we say, okay, MJ's way better. I'm good off you now, Gwen. I'm not gonna lie. You can stay in your basement doing some dark mystery shit, but do not come into my life. Yeah, stay away from me.
Being masters of illusion themselves, do they believe themselves capable of unraveling this lie? And so these guys are ultra deceptive, secretive, managing to get real close to the Kingpin. Both Gwen and Harry start off on the same page. They both agree to do what needs to be done. Only Gwen is like the extreme version of Harry in this respect. She actually means that shit. She blows up buildings without caring who's in them. She shoots Kraven point blank in the head. She betrays her intergenerational alliance with the Mysterios when the mission calls for it. She befriends Peter and MJ, makes them like her, so that they can set up something between her, Ben and Jonah. That way, when she wants to expose the Maker's secrets, those guys can do it for her and take the fall. While Harry preaches honesty, while he tells Peter that he shouldn't keep any secrets from MJ, he has no idea his own wife...
that's why I like Gwen's persona, and I think Gwen works a lot with Peter, because, brother, she is so, like, girl boss in a way where she's like, oh, I love that shit, bro. Bro, like, she like, will be in the action, bro. I don't think MJ has ever been in the action, bro. She either gets taken and swept and kidnapped or fucking killed. Like, At least Gwen puts up the fight. Okay, then again, she's also been killed in many of the fucking series. So you know what? Never mind. I don't even know what I'm saying. She also has her moments where I'm like, you motherfucker. But it's okay. It's fine. Hold on. Wait. What was I doing?
Is keeping secrets from him. He doesn't know about the guys in the basement, any of that shit. Gwen only reveals herself as Mysterio when it's absolutely necessary, when she has to fake Harry's death and let him know what happened afterwards. And if you think Harry has identity issues, Gwen is on a whole other level.
Wait, Harry didn't die? What? Okay, so my best friend's not dead. Let's go. So does Peter know that, or does Gwen and Harry just go missing forever, and Peter's just now gonna have to live his life thinking his best friend's dead?
Time of illusions, pretending to be other people, telling countless lies even to her husband. She barely has a concept of her own identity. Gwen Stacy doesn't really exist. She's just Mysterio, and it's been so long she doesn't seem to care. Gwen is also there to measure Harry's growth. As the series goes on, the two drift apart, and whether he wants to admit it or not, Harry's time with Peter has changed him. While Gwen's blowing shit up, Harry's saving the little people, even if others say it's insignificant. He's learning not to be controlled by the ghosts of the past, telling his AI dad to shut up and let him get on with being a hero. Eventually, Gwen's cold and calculated approach clashes with MJ. See, one of the things Hickman's really focusing on is the cost of revolution. A reminder that standing up to the system isn't free. That everyone can't just decide to rise up against the Kingpin, because he'll smoke their fucking families. MJ...
Hey, fuck you, Kingpin. He just sends a fucking drone straight to my fucking house.
Is there to be the voice of this cost, to show how exhausting this whole thing can be on regular people, and to make it clear that their attachments aren't weaknesses. She says, "Hey Gwen, it's cool that you don't care about anything but your own goal, but I've got children, right? I've got stuff to lose. We're in this fight, we're doing this revolution, not in spite of our loved ones, but because of them. A victory where everyone dies is no victory at all. So maybe think about that, you dickhead." And then she beats the shit out of her.
What? Wait, so you're Mysterio? You literally have blown up offices, but you still don't know how to fight? So MJ beat your ass? Hello? What are we talking about? So you are Mysterio, and you can still get your ass kicked by a girl who has no powers, no nothing. She's just straight up human, and you, oh my fucking god, you're a son of a bitch.
This is yet another moment that loses its impact to the time skips. You see this happening and you're like, oh my god, MJ just knocked Gwen out. Oh, I can't wait to see the immediate fallout of this. Psych, we skip ahead. Gwen's off doing her own thing again, doesn't even acknowledge MJ. Harry's back working on stuff with Otto. Peter and MJ show up for a single panel. Gwen dies from a bomb.
Yo, nah. This comic series is crazy, bro. What? Oh, sorry.
Planted by Mr. Negative, but manages to come back by merging her single panel. Gwen dies from a bomb planted by Mr. Negative, but manages to come back by merging her essence with all of the Mysterio members into one form. Ah! It was at this point I saw people going from concerned to apathetic. If at first you felt a little out of the loop, now you were really trailing behind. And when issue 22 gave us a 3-month time skip, it was like, oh okay, you're just taking the piss here. Still though, if Hickman could deliver a satisfying conclusion, then maybe it would all be worth it. Maybe everything would click into place. And with those last 2 issues being
New York Kingpin, Wilson Fisk runs New York, but who runs Wilson Fisk?
double length, I was kinda hopeful. I mean, Secret Wars was maybe the best ending to any comic ever, so I was still willing to see what Hickman had in store. Now in these closing chapters, all of the characters have relocated underground, to a secret base hidden in the Savage Land. The stage is set for the finale. You have Ben and Jonah ready to deliver their final expose on the Kingpin. You've got Richard, who disobeys his parents and sneaks off with Felicia to try and erase.
I mean, I would too, brother. Like, Black Cat is mother of God, especially in that verse. Oh my lord, bro. You're trying to tell me a teenager is supposed to say no to that? Fuck no, bro. I don't know how old Richard is, but motherfucker, he's ginger. He already has a fucking, like, he's losing in life already, so he has to take what he can get, motherfucker. I'm taking that immediately.
All of the info Kingpin has on them in his tower. You've got Harry and Ghost Gwen who are up to something mysterious. We'll find out what they're doing later. You've got MJ to keep
Wait, I'm sorry. Ghost Gwen? Wait, she came back as a I missed that.
Stuff with Otto. Peter and MJ show up for a single panel. Gwen dies from a bomb planted by Mr. Negative, but manages to come back by merging her essence with all of the Mysterio members into one. form planted by Mr. Negative, but manages to come back by merging her essence with all of the Mysterio members into one form. It was at this point I saw people going from concerned to apathetic. If at first you felt a little out of the loop, now you were really
TikTok got restricted. Oh boy. Oh my fucking god. We got restricted? What did I say? I probably said something that got restricted. Oh well.
trailing behind. And when issue 22 gave us a 3-month time skip, it was like, oh okay, you're just taking the piss here. Still though, if Hickman could deliver a satisfying conclusion, then maybe it would all be worth it. Maybe everything would click into place. And with those last 2 issues being double length, I was kinda hopeful. I mean, Secret Wars was maybe the best ending to any comic ever, so I was still willing to see what Hickman had in store. Now in these closing chapters, all of the characters have relocated underground, to a secret base hidden in the Savage Land. The stage is set for the finale. You have Ben and Jonah ready to deliver their final expose on the Kingpin. You've got Richard, who disobeys his parents and sneaks off with Felicia to try and erase all of the info Kingpin has on them in his tower. You've got Harry and Ghost Gwen, who are up to something mysterious. We'll find out what they're doing later. You've got MJ to keep people's spirits up, to relieve a lot of the pressure. You've got May, who does fuck all, but she's like 6, so it's fine. And in the center, you have Peter, who goes off to Fisk Tower, not only to chase after Richard, but also to confront the Kingpin, to finally give the old bastard a taste of his own medicine. There's also
what the fuck is this?
A taste of his own medicine. There's also Otto, who gives himself spider powers off screen. I was one of the few people who
What the fuck? Otto finally turned into Spider-Man? What the fuck?
didn't have a problem with this. I mean, if the series is doing the whole Spider-Man greatest hits reimagined thing, like, you might as well just throw Superior Spider-Man in there at the end. It's just meant to be a wink at the audience. He doesn't actually do anything other than order takeaway for the group, which is actually genius rage bait for the people complaining about not being able to see Peter. They want to see Peter in action so bad, and then Hickman spends those extra pages on Otto's soy sauce arc, how he requests no soy sauce from the restaurant, and then the plot twist is that he actually lied to everyone saying how he did ask for soy sauce. Dude just fucking hates soy sauce. Anyways, Peter takes Kingpin on, and a brutal fight ensues. Mr. Negative also shows up. He's just kinda there. No one invited him. There's a really fun moment where he uses his mind control powers to stop Peter from fighting, but Peter finds a loophole by moving him in front of the Kingpin's fist. That's just brilliant. Far beneath the fight, Richard and Felicia attempt to gain access to Kingpin's vault, only to be overwhelmed by its nanotech security system. Richard does what he can to hold it back, but it's not looking good. Peter tries to go after his son, but Kingpin stops him, and Richard's screams echo through the tower as Peter lies beaten and broken. There is one final hope though. Back down in the Savage Land, Ben...
But Superior Spider-Man with the Octo being Spider-Man, it was actually a really cool comic series. And I think we learned about that in the... I think Alex did a video about that and we learned about that. That was really cool.
Ben and Jonah, along with the help of Otto, remotely activate their plan. Every screen in New York lights up with the truth, and finally the city can see Kingpin for who he truly is. Ben sits back, relieved that their plan worked, while Jonah opens a bottle of his favourite soy sauce to celebrate. Wait, did you just say soy sauce?
Who the fuck plays Warcraft? What the fuck is that? What the fuck?
Suddenly, like a sauce. Suddenly, like a shark smelling blood, Otto lunges for the sauce. Jonah throws it into the air, away from Otto. However, Otto activates his suit and swings after the sauce, which keeps flying through the air, through the jungle, into the sewers, up to the surface, through the city, into the tower, up the stairs, all the way up to the top of the building, all the way into Peter's hand. No, yells Kingpin. My one weakness. Soy sauce. Okay, I'll stop.
It's a terrible joke.
In all seriousness, this is a really cool sequence where everything's coming together. All of these ideas that Hickman spent ages exploring. All of these different aspects of Revolution unite. It's weird because a lot of the meaning, right, the actual point of the finale, can be found in what the characters don't end up doing, if that makes sense. Like, you'd expect Ben and Jonah to expose the Maker and his council, to reveal the secret history of the world. I mean, right from the first issue, we've been made aware of the Maker. He's been this unseen presence, lurking in the background throughout the whole series. Multiple characters have been obsessed with discovering him and his plan. But as it turns out, they don't end up releasing this information. Not for now, at least. As experienced reporters, Ben and Jonah both know that this is such an incomprehensibly large large idea to try and sell to people, despite it being the truth. So instead, they choose one thread that everyone can follow. They stick with just the Kingpin for now, with the hope that everything else can be gradually revealed in the future. And that's a lot more interesting than if they were to just drop a fucking Maker lore video on the public. In a similar vein, Peter doesn't end up saving his son. He goes over to the tower to save Richard. The whole time, Kingpin's taunting him, saying that you'll never save your son. You don't have the strength to save your boy. And Peter's like, no, I will save my boy. I have to save my boy. And you're like, will he save his boy? Oh my god, is he gonna save him? And in the end, it's like, no. Richard saves himself. That was always an option. Maybe the younger generation are capable of more than people give them credit for.
Okay, you know what? It fixed it. They fixed his hair. It's not orange anymore, it's red. Okay, that makes sense now.
In the second half of the series...
Okay, now I'm pissed off again. Why is he switching from ginger to red hair? Mother of God. Pick the fucking color of his hair.
Richard had become this young, idealistic force, this youthful energy that clashed with the more middle-aged caution of his parents. The point of his character is to show that, yes, kids can...
Why are you beefing with his hair? I don't know, bro. Bro, because, like, I need them to pick either if he's gonna be a ginger and nerfed, or if he's gonna be redhead and fine. I don't even want to know what to say to you. Sorry.
Clash...
Oh, I don't even... Oh my god. I said I don't even want to know. My fucking god. Brother.
With the more middle-aged caution of his parents. The point of his character is to show that, yes, kids can be impulsive and reckless and manage to give their parents 50 fucking heart attacks,
yes.
But it's this youthful overconfidence that ends up bringing a lot of the change. They achieve so much precisely because of how naive they are, and that's a lot more interesting than if Peter had just saved them at the end. I still don't give a shit about Richard though. If he'd actually died here, I would have been like this the whole time.
And that's only because he's ginger, I swear to God.
The last thing that doesn't happen is that Harry doesn't end up being a hero. His story ends up as a tragedy. Now when I use the word tragedy, I'm not talking about everyone dying and it's all really sad. I mean tragedy in a literary sense. Literary. When a character refuses to change in spite of all of their opportunities to do so, leading to a negative ending for that character. The best example of this is One More Day, right? The comic where the main universe Peter sells his marriage to Mephisto in order to save Aunt May's life. It's not just him losing his marriage that makes it a tragedy. It's this refusal of growth. It's the fact that we know what Peter could have done. We saw all of the opportunities he could have taken. You've got all of these characters telling him to grow a pair and just move on from Aunt May. But Peter takes the coward's way out. He accepts the role of the villain, standing by while someone else decides his future. The thing is though, with that story, Marvel didn't see it as a tragedy. They actually thought Peter was doing a...
Would you save your aunt's life for losing your love, like your wife? Like, that's crazy. I'm sorry, there's no fucking way I'm doing that. I don't give a fuck, bro. I'm so sorry, bro. There's not a single way I'm fucking doing that. I don't know, bro. That's kind of hard. I just don't think, like, bro, like, you're telling me that, like, your wifey, your fucking lover, you're gonna like say goodbye to? That's crazy. I don't know, man.
Heroic thing at the end, and so there was no way to revisit or redeem Peter's choice at the end, because it would mean admitting that it was a tragedy, and thus Spider-Man comics just got completely fucked forever. Harry's tragedy, on the other hand, is defined by what he could have done, and
his Aunt May was like his mother, so like, it's basically saying, are you gonna save your mom or your wife? And oh my lord. Oh, the fight. Oh god, the fight on that one. Oh my lord.
It's actually intentional. All this time, he and Gwen have had this talk of winning. We have to fight and we have to win.
The only issue that I have with Peter saving his aunt is that his aunt was gonna die anyways. Like, brother, your aunt is like fucking 80 on her way out of the world already. What do you mean you're trying to save something that's gonna die in like another 5 years, brother?
Now we are going to win. In the last issue, we get to
like,
see...
I would understand it if it's like, oh, your mom's like, or your aunt or your mom. Like, it's basically his mom. But like, I would understand it if his mom was like fucking 50, still have lots of life to go, still pretty young and eager to live her life out. Like, I would understand it then, because it's not like you're killing MJ, it's just that you're never gonna fucking see her ever again. Fucking fine. Actually, it doesn't even mean you're never gonna see her again. It just means she forgets about you and you forget about her. Fine. Let's test love and see if we fall in love again. Sure, that's fine. I understand it then, but then why the fuck would you do it when you're... I don't know, man. That's some dumb shit.
What winning actually looks like in their
Wait,
eyes.
it's actually... No, in Mephisto's fucking deal, I think they couldn't even get back together. I think it was like they were never allowed to get together ever again.
And it's not
or
good.
something, I
Instead
forget.
of joining Peter in the fight against Kingpin, Harry accompanies Gwen to confront Captain Britain, one of the members of the Maker's Council and Kingpin's boss, essentially. However, they get a different kind of welcome to the one they were expecting. The Captain knows that Kingpin is on his way out, and so he says, "Hey Mysterio, how would you like to take Kingpin's place? How would you like to have the blessing of the Maker's Council and run the city for yourself?" Ghost Gwen accepts, and while the scene isn't immediately clear about how we're supposed to feel,
She went from baddie to holy shit aura. Like, what the fuck is that? She's not even... Bro, she don't even got, like, any feminine energy. She is completely, like... Holy mother of God.
about this, it is kind of obvious if you go back
I do need... Hold on. I'll be right back. We'll finish the video in just a second. I need to do something. My voices... My voices... Hello. Alright. Dab. Anyway. Dab. We like to hit the dab. We like to hit the dab. Alright. Don't ever let him distract you from what you were put on this earth to do. I can make that promise.
can examine Gwen's backstory and personality. Given what we know about her already, you can take a guess that this isn't going to end up being good for the world. She's not going to be the greatest leader. So Harry, right? This guy who's been trying to be the main character, who's been trying to be a hero, finally has the chance to prove himself, to make this pivotal decision. He had no idea Gwen was going to do this. This was her idea. Surely then he could resist somehow? I mean, he's looking at the guy who was behind his dad's death. This is as close to revenge as he's ever been. This whole time he's had his dad's voice in his head. These high expectations. This pressure that made him ask himself, am I going to be a boy or a man? Am I going to be a hero or something else? But pressure doesn't always drive people into action.
Not the dab.
Sometimes
So what's it going to be, son? Will you stand by 1/5 of a wife, or run off to save a better man that you will ever be? Damn.
it just shorts them out. And Harry, having been pulled in so many directions by all these expectations, is disparaged enough to do nothing. He freezes, standing by while someone else decides his future. In the end, Harry decides to delete his AI father. He refuses to answer any of the
So why the fuck didn't you do that from the fucking get-go? I swear to fucking God, why didn't all the Green Goblins just delete the fuck? Like, Harry, was your father that fucking important to you? Bro, you can obviously tell when he, like, if I had an AI father saying, kill, in my fucking brain, all the fucking Green Goblins that were Harry, brother, motherfucker, I'm going like, the fuck? Turn off. What the fuck are you talking about? Turn the fucking AI shit off, man.
those questions about his identity. And while his friendship with Peter remains pretty solid, Harry's on the edge. Gwen
Like, your dad in the Green Goblin mask is saying, blow up the orphanage. Don't do it, maybe. You know what? Like, maybe let's not, Dad. And then turn it off.
doesn't exist anymore as a full person. So he's lost his wife, he's lost his parents, and he's lost himself. We should have seen this coming. I mean, he called himself the Green Goblin. That's not the name of a hero. But if that's truly the last we see of Harry, that's pretty ballsy. Hickman is painting an imperfect picture of revolution here. People will fail to act, and not everyone gets what they want, even if they were doing it for the right cause. And while it is a victory for most of the cast, Hickman makes it clear that the battle will never end. Resistance is a constant effort. Ben and Jonah admit to each other that they're never going to retire. Peter will continue as Spider-Man and eventually pass on the main duties to his son. We see from Otto that he's figured out how to give people spider powers, so presuming he doesn't gatekeep that shit, then there's probably going to be a spider army at some point in the future. It's a full circle moment, only the foundation for the resistance resistance is now a lot stronger. Okay, so some people liked the final issue, some people didn't. The more interesting question is that now that the series is complete, is it better than the original Ultimate Spider-Man, aka the series I haven't stopped glazing since I showed up on here? Is it worthy of the name Ultimate?
Mother of God, who the bro, do I give a fuck about your goddamn Timberlands or shoes? No, motherfucker, get me the fuck out. Asia Wilson, my god, what a baddie, what a queen, hello. Anyways.
Well, it's a tricky one, because they're both—
Wait. Asia, no, never mind. Bam Adebayo. I forgot. My bad, Bam.
so different. Different settings,
Bam.
different lengths.
Sorry.
One has an arc about Wolverine being a predator, one doesn't do that. I do want to talk about two things both series have in common, though. Two areas of comparison, the first of which being Spider-Man versus old people. Spider-Man has always been at odds with the establishment. He's been the voice of the younger generation shouting at the old. That's the thing that OG Ultimate is so good at. It's capturing this teenage rage, this frustration at adults who've grown tired and complacent, who tell you to just sit down and accept the way things are. Peter is constantly pitted against those who think they know better than him, who think they know how the world works, and are using that knowledge to screw people over. And the fight against this is so difficult, so impossible at times. It makes Peter want to throw himself off a building. Still though, there is hope for the future, and I can't tell if it's charming or depressing looking back at that unique 2000s optimism. The idea that the internet was going to change everything for the better. The promise that if you worked hard and went to college, then that was the dream. And so even though the comic can be bleak at times, there's still that promise of the future. There's all this talk of Peter growing up, how he'll join the Ultimates one day, he'll join the system and make it better. The future—
Bro, Tony's so cool though, but that's gotta be a little bit like scary, bro, right? Like imagine like could you imagine sleeping over at Tony's place? You just fucking in that room. Could you imagine being like, oh yeah, you gotta sleep in this room? Bro, all the fucking dude, wake up at night, start seeing like 20,000, 25,000 eyes on you. You're like, oh fuck.
is guaranteed. The struggle is just waiting for it to get here. In New Ultimate though, times are different. Younger people have watched as the future promised to them by previous generations actually wasn't guaranteed. As we see from Peter, simply growing up isn't enough anymore. Back in 2010, towards the end of OG Ultimate, the Daily Bugle was seen as this really cool thing. Peter looked at these grown-ups with awe. Sure, Jonah had previously used the paper for slightly corrupt reasons, but he had changed, and things were looking up. Now, though, these institutions are a dead end. Corruption is staring people in the face. The future won't come from within the system. People need to act now, and they need every generation on board. The original Peter was obsessed with earning everything himself, even to his own detriment. New Peter says, nah, we don't have time for that shit. If Tony Stark gives me $1 trillion suit, I'm taking it. We need all the help we can get, no matter who it's from. Pride can't stand in the way of progress. So it's the same sort of theme, it's just been tailored to the present day, where world peace can no longer be achieved by Gangnam Style. The second point I want to focus on, and this is something I haven't seen people talk about, is that both books have the overall message of Spider-Man lives happily ever after. He gets a perfect ending. Now, I've complained about the original Ultimate in the past for walking back on certain events. Gwen is killed by Carnage, only for her to be brought back to life later so she can go back to living in Peter's house. Or when Peter and Norman both die in the tragic conclusion to the second volume, they're both revived and made immortal later on. And for the longest time I said that this was a mistake, that Peter's death was so well done, it had such an impact, so why reverse it? And I still kind of feel like that, but also I was being a bit of a dumbass. First off, I complained about how we never got to see Peter discover why he's alive. You know, he goes off with Mary Jane saying, we need to find out what happened to me, we need to track this down, and then we don't see that happen. Except, Alex, you idiot, that's the whole point. They say in the story that this whole investigation is just an excuse for Peter and MJ to run away together. That's it. We do actually know what happened to Peter. He says it himself. The Oz formula in the spider bite made him immortal. Some random corporation had him dug up so they could experiment on his body. What happened to that corporation after that? Who knows? That's the beauty of it. The details are left to your imagination. Also, Norman had been trying to achieve godhood from issue 1. Him finally achieving this immortality, is almost inevitable. It makes sense for the finale. What I should have been focusing on was Peter and MJ. These two teenagers who for the whole series were so in love with each other. They would constantly talk about how they wanted to get married and run away together. And Peter promised that they'd do that someday. When the writer—
Did you say two teenagers? Fucking teenage love, I guess.
Brian Michael Bendis was typing up the script to Death of Spider-Man, he started bawling his eyes out. He clearly cared so much about these characters, and the fact that they would never get to have that ending together. It's heartbreaking stuff. So when the original Ultimate Universe was ending, when Bendis knew that this was going to be the last time he was going to get to write these characters, the ones he spent the last 15 years with, he was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm giving these guys a break. I'm giving them the fairy tale ending. In terms of execution, Bendis does the best he can, but even so, he's aware of the consequences of what he's doing. He speaks through Peter. He says, look, I'm sorry, this might be a mistake. I don't want this to become a whole thing, but I've got to do this. This is the last chance I've got, you know, I've got to do it for my boy. When Peter drives off with MJ in the end, when they finally get that piece together, that's Bendis saying, maybe the good guys do get a happy ending. Maybe despite all odds, things do work out. Miracles happen, people do come back and get a second chance. Sure, it's not realistic. Fuck it. Now, I know some people thought that Peter was going to die in this new series, or that his son would die, or something would happen to show the consequences for standing up to the regime, and while it's not quite settled yet, Peter might still die in Ultimate Endgame, the ending of the series itself is hopeful. Maybe despite all odds, goodness prevails, families are brought closer together, and everyone lives. Well, I guess Gwen kinda dies. Okay, everyone Peter cares about lives. It obviously doesn't hit as hard as the original Ultimate, since we haven't had nearly as much time.
That's a weird, like, Gwen, bro. Like, if you showed me that image, didn't say anything, bro, how am I supposed to guess that was Gwen? Like, what the fuck?
With these characters, but I don't know. Maybe if Marvel wasn't allergic to good ideas, maybe if the series had gone on to issue 200 or something, maybe I would have cared about Richard or May or any of these guys. So, was Ultimate Spider-Man really that great? Yeah, it was alright. I have a video coming out in a couple weeks. This is what I actually spent.
W fucking Alex. What a great fucking video. Was Ultimate Spider-Man really that great? I mean, the answer was, it looked cool. It looked like the best universe Spider-Man could ever have. Legitimately, probably the best life he's ever had in his whole fucking life. Because other comics, he's losing, you know, both his aunt and uncle, or his uncle, having to deal with MJ either being dead, kidnapped, whatever, blah blah blah, doesn't have kids, never gets to live out his family life with MJ. In this one he does, it seems. So yeah, I feel like this one is probably his greatest fucking universe. Another universe, his best friend betrays him, tries to kill him, either turns into Venom or turns into fucking Green Goblin, or Harry's father is trying to kill him. His boss also hates his superhero persona, so he's trying to kill Spider-Man or get him killed or whatever, basically. Yeah, so this is probably the best fucking universe for Peter Parker. If I'm Peter Parker, I'm hopping into this universe effective immediately. MJ's a baddie. I have 2 kids. My son's taking my mantle. Harry's not trying to kill me, and he's still alive and one of my best friends. So fuck yeah. Dr. Octavius is not trying to doom the fucking world and kill everybody in sight or fucking turn them into fucking drones for his making it, whatever bullshit. So hell fucking yeah. Gwen Stacy, I mean, like, I love her, but like, fuck her, she can like die and rebirth into whatever fucking bullshit. So W fucking universe. If I had to read that comic, I'd probably be happy because that looked pretty good. Anyways, with that being said, I think we're gonna watch Ludwig.